Hello everyone, today I am making a tutorial of rigging and animating. So at first when you see it, it's going to be very messy, hard, and yeah, the only part I would say that is very hard would be the part where you're animating. That's like the most hardest part because you have to do all the poses and stuff. But for rigging, most people have a hard time to try and fix that. So before you start rigging or anything, first you want to create your own model. If you're a beginner on modeling, I'd suggest you make something simple or blocky. Blocky is very easier, but morphs are like round, such as like those bendy games like Inkwell, for example. Those morphs are pretty hard and they're not for beginners. So at first what you're going to need to do in order to rig, like I said, first make your morph. Once you're done with the whole morph, you could see the whole thing right here. This thing, these parts right here, such as the thumb, all of these parts. So the chest of the morph is going to be super, and I mean very important in order to succeed through this. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to name all of these parts what they are. And for the tummy, there's a thing where you have to union it. If there's anything on the tummy you're adding, union it. You're going to need to union it in one with the tummy. So like for the bow tie example, it's a separate for sure. So it's separate, but still we're doing it like that. But if you're adding anything like straps to the tummy, for example, this morph right here, if you're adding anything like this morph, if I go here, you see the tummy right here? The pocket, the belt, the bow tie even, it's all unioned together. And to do this, you're going to want to select all the morphs in the tummy, or the parts on the tummy. You're going to go to model. Once you selected all the parts on the tummy, you're going to union them, and it's going to be together. So this can be way easier to animate. So for example, right here in the gloves part, this part of the glove, you could see the middle side is animated, or as you can say, unioned. It's unioned, only the middle side, including this part, including those two things, because if you're going to add fingers, and this is going to be what you're going to need to do, you're going to only union this part of the glove, just this part, not the fingers or anything. But for the feet, you're going to need to union them if you're adding parts on them, or like boots, then you're definitely going to need to union them. But if you're adding like nothing, just plain old blocks, then you don't need to make them as a union. So once we're done with this kind of thing right here and all, if you want it to look better, for example, making a bendy morph, then you're going to want to go to material, smooth plastic, and it'll make it look like this. More better than the normal plastic. So now that we got all of those things out of the way, what you're going to need to do is model the whole entire morph. Once you model everything, like I said, you want to name all of them, because if you don't, they're going to be super picky to even animate them. So now, what you're going to need to do here is you're going to need to go to the rig builder. It's going to be added there automatically for sure. Click on block rig. It should spawn this dummy right here. So what you're going to want to do first before doing anything else, you're going to need to shrunk the morph size like the dummy. It can be not near if you want. I'm going to make it this size. Do not do this once you're done rigging, because then it'll break the rigs. So once you're done like this, you want to grab the dummy, press move the dummy in the middle of the morph, as so close to the middle as you can, like about this, like right here. Make sure the model is not touching, or yeah, touching the ground. Make sure it's touching the ground, make sure it's not floating, and put this as the middle, like wholly middle. So now as soon as you put it in the middle, like the middle right here, now what you're going to need to do is click this arrow on the tummy, and then you're going to add this humanoid root part. You want to drag it into the model here, and then you want to click the arrow, remove these things right here, and then you can remove the dummy. Now, after that, you want to go to your model. You're going to press this plus sign, type in humanoid, and put that in there. It's going to be important later on. And once you're done with like everything here, now this is where the messy part goes in. You're going to go to plugins. Make sure you have this plugin installed. I'll put it in the description for you guys so you can like install this plugin so you can rig. So now once you do this, you want to click on it. It's going to say to tell you a model. You may continue. Now, hard part, messy part, the rigging. So since I added fingers into my morph, it's going to need a lot of extra time for this. So what you're going to want to do is bind. Now listen carefully. Do not put the humanoid root part right there. As you see, it covered the tummy. We want to make this very easier. So what we're going to need to do, you're going to need move the humanoid root part a little bit down, and that's the fine size right there. So now you can actually get back to rigging since I told you all the problems. So we want to bind the tummy first, and then you can bind this. So once you're done with that, you want to bind the tummy again to the arm. Then you want to do the same thing to like this, then this, and then this. So now how to rig these fingers. Like I told you, you have to rig the middle glove or what anything's on there except the fingers. So you want to click on that, put it downward right there, and like that, then that. After that's done, you're going to do the same thing like you did. Click, then that, and you're just going to keep going until it's done. So now that it's done right there, like that part right there, for the head, like I told you, you want to union the eyes and stuff. So you want to do this. And once you're done with the head like that, then you want to do the eyes, then mouth. Then after that, like I said, do the same thing with the other arm, just like I told you to. Like this, and this. And then you're going to do the same thing like you did to the other arm, which is pretty easy. Just try not to screw anything up. If you do, then the hard chances are you're going to need to delete some stuff in order to do this, to fix everything. So you want to keep going. Now, for the feet, as I told you, it's like the same thing. It's like the same thing you did to the arms. Make sure it's able to do that, then this, that, then this. Then you're going to do that with the other feet. Keep going. And then, boom. You're done with the morph. Now, the next step is the humanoid root part. So, what you're going to do is click on the humanoid root part in this order. So, click that first, then to the tummy. Now, as you can see, now it has its motor 60. So now here is where if you want to make this model be able to animate easier, just so you don't have to like move parts a lot, because this is going to make a very huge, easier way to animate it. So you want to go to edit. Now, what I want you to do is press L 1, 2, 3 times until it says step free, as you can see in the bottom. Then for the mode, I want you to press K. You're not going to do a lot of rotating. All you're going to do is just move. That's a lot. Not a lot, actually. Sorry for saying that. Okay. So now you got to put this here. So you see these black gaps right here? These things? That's where you want to put the dots at. So like this. Make sure it's in there. And then there's secret things that are hiding in the chest. You're going to see like this thing right here, right? You want to click on it. It's hiding in the chest. So before we do anything, it's like the same thing you did to the arms. move it like this. Then this has to go get the black spot right there. Then the hidden part has to go up here. Then right here. For the head, you don't need to worry about that as much, nor the humanoid root part. For the feet though, you want to do, like I said, this. Make sure you're doing this carefully. Make sure you do not screw up anything, because chances are you can actually have to reset this whole entire thing, which you don't wanna. You just wanna make this easier and stuff. So like I said, move like this, that. Now for here, like this. Make sure it's hitting like the middle kind right here. Yeah, like that. And now you can see this whole thing how it is right here. Okay, now once you're done on editing, there's also one thing I forgot to tell you about for the fingers. It's like I said, some of them might be white gaps, since if you're putting the color thing, they're gonna be transparent, a little bit transparent than you think they will be. So you want to put it like that, and then do the same thing to the other hand and fingers, whatever you want to say about it. And like I said, it's going to be really picky to know what you're animating here if you don't name. So this is how it should look if you're making like the bendy model. This is how it should look. Now we're going to go to the animating part. So before we even start on like animating or anything, you want to press finish here. So now before we go any further on animation, you want to do this. So you see bendy, right? Properties, primary part. You want to set this thing on humanoid root part. That's what you need to do, or else you will not be able to animate. It will tell you like this one, you're not able to even animate this thing right here. So now once you're done with this whole thing like I told you to, this right here is going to be there. It should say this. No animations exist for this, Rick. Please create one. Now it will pop up like this. This is not a valid R15 avatar. And that's fine. It's nothing. Every developer has that unless their model is actually an R15. But for my model, it's not an R15. So for the animation part, it's going to be a little hard. So you see these things right here, the bendy joints. You don't want to move any of these. Like you can click on them. You don't need to do a lot of moving. You need to do rotation. And you can set the time on how much you want. It doesn't matter how much. And before we do any animating, you want to set priority to action. If you're doing the mode, guys, you're going to set it to action if you want. But for now, it's going to be core, because that's how everything starts up. So now, in order to animate this whole thing, you have to listen carefully. Do not right click on every part like right here or anything. That's going to screw everything up. For example, if I do it, let's see, I'm going to stop right here. If I even do it, you'll see this happens. It breaks like this. You can see this. Sometimes it might look nice, but sometimes it's just a little bit messy. That's what she said. So once you're done with that, you're going to need to do this. And now you want to create a pose. So for example, if I'm doing an animation dial, what you're first going to do is first you want to move the head and stuff. See how now it's easier? And you're seeing these white things because I added trail. Maybe I'll teach that in another video. And the rope constraints. So if I'm making an animation or like an dial, if I wanted to, you have to make a pose for this character. See, make this pose. I'm not going to make as much smooth animation guide right here. So then you want to move stuff. You're going to need everything to go in a pose, or else it'll just glitch out of the front. And there's also these things where you could do. So wait, let me just make the pose. So let's say this is the animation. So this is the pose what we want, right? This is the pose. Nothing to move here. So now you see this diamond right here, right? This diamond is gonna help you. And how you're saying this is gonna even help you, first of all, listen out here. You're gonna click on the diamond. There should be these things called easing options. You wanna click on that. Now here's things that you're gonna have. You can see the easing direction and stuff. For me, I like to set it in cubic in. What this will do is like help your animations better. Like to make it a little bit more, let's say cartoony tiny bit, not a lot. So now once you're done with this part, now you can move over here. Then you could do this. And it's basically making another pose, but you have to follow the same thing you did like there. So basically making a different pose, make sure it's like the same thing a little bit. So it's creating different poses. So for here, you see that right there? There's people who do things like this where they copy paste the same keyframes a lot. Sometimes that could help, but sometimes it can make the morph look like a maniac running at you. And that's, if you're creating a running animation, then I guess you could do that to make your morph run like a maniac. Everyone wants that. I know everyone does. So now once you're doing that kind of stuff, what you want to do, you're going to do the same thing again, create another pose. I'm going to do the same thing I did. Basically moving like the arms right here, right here. You're going to make it just like this, like what I'm doing and everything. As you see right there, that's what it's doing to your animation. So what I'm going to tell you when I'm going to start like animating things and stuff, I'm going to tell you this thing that sure, you're a beginner, you're not as good, as talented at animating such things like this, but let's say if you practice on animating and stuff, then you're going to get better at animation. One later on I'll show you these things, like these animations I made. And ignore the Sonic words because they're a literal nightmare and I don't want anyone to see those nightmares. So make sure these are on the lines because then this will make the more slower, as you can see. But if I put it like this, you'll see it's sped it up a little bit. You don't want that. You want to separate everything right here. And what I'm going to teach you later on, when I'm at this point, I'm going to teach you how to make a smooth loop so it doesn't look like it's like glitching out or anything. So you want to retrace everything back on what you did right here. You want to keep going, create the poses again a lot. You're going to keep going. And you don't need to do the same thing I'm doing. You could do it a different way, not how I'm like actually doing it. So you have to keep going and keep going. So once I'm done right here, so let's see, here's the pose. Make it the same right there. Do the same. Retrace back to see if the arms even moved. Move it like this. Then this. And then just retrace back again so you can remember what's going on. And yeah, if your animations are bad, you can always try Control Z. There's no way to go do it again. It's like no way to do that. And it's not even existed in there. Because it's not always there for you. And I don't know why. It would have been a little bit of a great feature, but you're going to have to live with it and stuff. So once you're doing all the things, retracing back on the morph and stuff. So now as you reach this point on, how your morph is going to be now right in this stance. So you can see as it's been like this, so then it's going to go like this, and then this. Once it's done, try this. See how it looks. It might not look as good, but it's what I'm trying to show you guys. Make sure this is on, by the way. So now I told you that I would show you how to make a smooth loop like you don't know when it's ever gonna end. So first you wanna copy this keyframe right here. Where is it? Let me see. You wanna only copy this keyframe. And there's more than this keyframe. I suggest you copy the whole keyframe. Okay, wait. It should allow me to copy the keyframe, but it's being a little bit disobedient. That's what she said. Okay. But yeah, if it's not working like it's intended to do, you want to add more keyframes. Just make sure you add more keyframes into everything here. Because I showed you it was a little bit of it was only one keyframe, and that sucks. I know it sucks to have only one of the keyframes. So you want to keep going and going a lot, animating these fingers, making a pose for this head again. Do not look at the horrifying Sonic. I'm warning you, you're gonna get very blind once you see it. If it's still not showing up, you have to select this whole thing right here. But since it's not showing you anything, then we're gonna have a few problems right here, because we're trying to make the same thing right here. We're trying to make it go looped again. If this does not work on how it was intended to work, then the chances are, it's like I said, you're gonna need to make this, so you're gonna have to add more keyframes into this. If not, then chances are, like I said, they won't work and you won't be able to copy these keyframes. Because the reason why is just that you need to copy these exact keyframes, and if you're not, then it's not gonna really loop your animation. I would say that because it wouldn't actually loop the whole animation. So you really want to go at least how it's not allowing me to select it for a weird reason, but then you should see this. So now it's allowing me to select this. You want to paste it here, paste the selection. It should be the same. So now as soon as you do this, as you can see, it's at least now it's at a good loop. Like you don't know when it's gonna end, you don't know when it will end. And once you're doing this animation, there's one thing I need to tell you, and that's you have to save it. If you don't save it, then it's gonna be gone forever. So what you want to do is press this, save, and then just enter iDial or anything else if you want to put anything there. And now that's your iDial animation. For walking animation, you know what you gotta do. Do the same thing, almost like iDial, but instead you're moving the legs, making them walk. Make sure you do make the loop a lot more smoother, and it should go out all fine. It should go fine, and do not worry if your animations suck. Like me, for example, my animations used to suck, but now they're a little bit better since I've been practicing a lot, modeling a lot. That made me create this. And now I told you everyone, I would show you other models I did here, or at least show you one of them, the animations I did, so I can show you everything. So once you're done with all of that, I'll show the trails, like I said, the rainbow constraint and everything on another video. So now I'm gonna show you other things, and I know you're freaking out from Sonic. Do not worry, nothing is something to worry. So you see these things right here, you need to ignore them. I know, I'm gonna make it the same thing as the video. So I'm gonna make the same video on ropes and trails. Okay, so now I'm on in. This is my morph. This is my actual first morph. I used to suck at it, and what I told myself, what if I grabbed my beginning morph, like the first morph I ever did, and then reanimate that morph, make it look better. So then this is the morph. It's called Inktus, I know, funny name. As you can see, everything right here is good. The ropes too. And so when you want to, now here's the animation I did for this morph. It might not work because it's actually in a morph, and I'll teach that after I'm done with this. What I'm going to do is go in place so I can show you this morph. There's other morphs I did. There's this nice guy called Silly. He taught me how to do this. This is him, but this one's not the one we're trying to do. So what we're trying to do here, reset, move away from the thing, and ignore Kermit and all these Sonic things. They're so beautiful. Okay, see this? So now it's black like the ropes. Now here's the animation for this morph. As you can see, this is the new animation it has, the new jump it has, and even its new eye dial. So this is everything right here. This is what it is. So now, what I'm going to do is go here. So now, I'm going to teach you how to morph these things. And be aware, once you're in like the model section, you're going to want to find a rig template, but be aware, some could be viruses. I'll leave the one that's virus free, has like no viruses at all, and nothing has been affected in my game, by the way. So now I'm gonna go to my inventory and stuff. You're gonna see a lot of things right here. Okay, so you want to grab this. Do not put it in the character yet. You want to name it this. Name it anything you want. Anything you want. I'm going to name it Bendy because that's the morph I made and that's its name. So what you want to do, like I told you here, you want to go to the animation editor. We're not going to do any more animations. This is only idle animation. You want to make sure it's on loop. If it's not on loop, then this is not going to work. File, you want to export it. I mean, it's going to go in your Roblox animation inventory. Want to create new. And yes, you're amazed right here how much I've been doing this right here. You want to create new, name it like Bendy Idol. For that, now you wait. Now you see this right here, it should give out an ID. You want that ID right there. So for now, once you're going to have that ID because it's going to be important later on. And sorry for making those noises because I thought I can actually copy it. So what you're going to want to do is copy it. Now, you're okay right here. Now what you're going to want to do is go in Google Chrome or such. Go to your Roblox inventory. Find the ID and such. Want to paste the same link that it gave you. Then you want copy the ID that's right here. Then you want to go over here. Now, once you copy the ID, everything, you're set here. So now, we're going to go right over here. And as previous, you should name this morph waist. Because it's going to go in the torso. So you want to name this waist. And then, you're going to go over here. It's going to be named Bendy. Click on it. Morph. You're going to see torso right here. So it's going to be torso. Also, I'm sorry if I didn't add a walk animation. I only wanted to do an animation so I can have time for this video. So what you're going to want to do is you want to grab the named waist right here. Put it over here. Now, here's the thing. You want to delete humanoid. Once you're done with humanoid, put humanoid root part in the morph. And it should be right there. Now, you're done with this part. Now, I told you to copy the ID before. So you want to go to idol here, properties. Enter the ID you got from the exportation. This. And now this is set. Now it's complete set right here. Want to click on play here. Loading up. Just wait. And now as you can see right here, the reasons T-posing, now you have this bending morph. And if it's floating, it's probably either from not touching the ground, but that's okay. Or it's either not the right size or anything, but it's a mistake anyway. And if you don't add animations to other things, then chances are you're just going to have this. You're going to have a T-posing sad morph wondering why you do not want it to walk or anything. So now we're done with this video. I teach you all the basics to know how to animate, rig, and everything. I hope you like this video. I'll do more tutorials, like I said, about rope and waves, or trails if you want to call them. I'll be possibly using the same model. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you like this video. Bye. Well, now, that's probably the size I want him to be. But we're not done here with the block rig. First of all, what we're going to need to do is I'm going to untoggle this plugin, and I'm going to grab the dummy. I want to put him as close to the middle as I can. This is going to be used for the humanoid root part. Oh god.